Hello everyone, it's Chastity here, and I like to stream at least once or twice a week on my nights off when I'm also working on school stuff. I actually have a special event that I want to share for today's stream. You see, I talked my mom into joining live chess and playing chess with me on the computer, because that's kind of what I do. I play chess on live chess a lot. Actually, it's pronounced lead chess, but it looks like light chess. But whatever, you know what I'm talking about because it's shown in every video, just about. Anyway, the point is, my mom's not really a chess player, but she knows how to play. And after I played Words with Friends with her, I talked her into also playing a game of chess with me. So we created an account for my mom, and I'm going to review a game I played with my mom on livechess.org or Lee Chess. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna keep calling it live chess because it works. I like it. um, anyway, so here's what we have. You see me playing against Judina, which is my mom's name, and it's a new account. This was a casual game, not rated. Um, and so here's what we had is I played white and I did queen's pawn. Then my mom moved her knight, so I decided, hey, I'll move my knight as well. And then she moved her queen's pawn, and I thought, well, let's go into the queen's gambit. So here's the queen's gambit position, except that the knights are already out, but we have the same position as the queen's gambit. So here, she took the gambit, she took the pawn because that seemed like a good thing to do. You get to take a free pawn, right? And that's kind of one of the traps I do is the queen's gambit. So after that, I got my knight out there because I didn't want the pawn trapped behind the knight. That's why I didn't move the knight out first. So I'm learning this is kind of my style. I like to move that pawn out and then get the knight out. So my mom gets her knight out. So we have the knights involved in the game. This is really good. And then I moved this pawn because now the king's pawn is defended by the knight. If I had moved it out before that, then her knight would have just taken it. So she moves over here with the knight, and that is a relatively good move, or at least it looks like. But because I moved that pawn earlier, my queen comes here, puts her in check, and she blocks the check with the pawn. So then I just take the knight. So already I had an advantage because I wiped out her knight. So let's see here. Then she attacks my queen with that pawn. And so my queen just goes and captures that. All right, she moves that pawn, and that gets the bishop out. I think that was the main purpose. It also defends the f7 square next to the king, though I don't think my mom was thinking about that at the time. She was probably just trying to get her bishop out. And then I pinned the knight so that if she moved the knight, then I would take her queen. But instead, she just moves the queen, and this was an opportunity I didn't want to miss to move my pawn and fork the queen and the knight. So she moves the queen out of the way, then I take the other knight with the pawn. So this is kind of expected because I target knights early on in the game because knights are extremely powerful, and in my opinion, far more powerful than bishops because I use them more effectively. So to me, they mean a lot more. So I wipe out my opponent's knights. Um, and then she can capture back with that pawn. And now I'm attacking the rook. See, I've already wiped out both of her knights, but I still have both knights, both bishops, and two rooks. So already I'm winning, and that's expected that I would probably win because my mom doesn't play chess regularly, obviously. It's not her thing. Her thing is Word with Friends. But if we play more regularly, she'll get better at chess and maybe she'll beat me. But clearly for this game, I had the advantage. So then I moved the bishop out, thinking I would have a chance to castle and that I could attack that pawn. She takes that pawn, but then I take that pawn. Then she advances that pawn there, and I simply take it with that pawn. And she advances that pawn, and I castled my king because you see what I was doing here. You can see what I'm trying to set up, attacking the king with the rook. I could have just moved the rook instead of castling, but I thought, why not make sure both my rooks are connected just in case anything bad happens? So she takes that pawn with her rook. I come here, and this is a situation that it would be checkmate if not for the fact that she still has a queen that can capture the rook, but then my bishop comes and kills the queen. So she has to take it with the queen. There's no other way out. And then I capture the queen. And then she takes that. This is what I think is interesting. Let me back up, because you see what happened is I took the queen, and notice that she specifically took my knight. She had the opportunity to also capture my bishop, but she intentionally attacked my knight because she knows that I value knights more than bishops. So she was trying to attack my stronger piece, being the knight, because knights are my thing because they're horses, and she knows it. My mom has caught on to that. Plus, I explained a lot as we went. So then I thought, well, at least I can protect that bishop since she didn't take that. And then she attacks that there, the rook, and then I try to put her in check. And then, yeah, that was crazy. She just blocked the bishop, and I couldn't just let her take my queen. So I moved it, thinking I'll attack the rook here. And then she takes my other knight with the rook. And the thing is, yeah, my mom is like that because she knows I didn't want to lose my knight. But since I got to capture her rook back, I still had the advantage because I have more pieces. I still have a queen and she doesn't at this point in the game. So she puts my king in check there. I have to move. Then she moves that pawn there. And I thought, well, now that that pawn's out of the way, I can come put her in check. And then she has to move there. I capture the bishop. So I'm wiping all her pieces. She moves that pawn there. Then I am attacking that pawn with the rook. Yes, there's that. Okay, she advances that pawn, and then I just take that. And here, it was just a case of continuously chasing the king until it's in the corner and it's checkmate. So that was my first ever game with my mom on onlinechess.org.